hopefully it's going to be a little bit less than a full 30 minutes of us presenting, but we'll try to cover the most common questions we're hearing from folks via, email and web responses and stuff like that. So I'll do some introductions. We'll talk briefly about what hybrid learning is. We'll share a little bit about like, what do we do before we come onto campus for hybrid learning? What is it going to look like during the school day for hybrid learning? What does it look like after we leave the in-person learning environment on campus? Then we look at all supports we have so we can make sure you get whatever you might be needing in a timely fashion, and then we'll go to those Q&A. Okay, so that's our general agenda, and we're gonna give you an opportunity to meet a few people as well. Like I said, I'm Dan Hedberg and I'm the principal. We'll do a little game of see if you can find their square on the screen, if you can see multiple screens. And so Alyssa Dodds, let's see if you can wave. Alyssa, there's Ms. Dodds, one of our assistant principals. Dane Nelson. Hey, oh, and a digital thumbs up from Dane, loving it. Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Alan Stearns. Hello, Alan. Oh, he gave him a little clap, and he looks like he's in his virtual office. Very nice. And our athletic director, I just wanted to, as a resource, let you know Thomas Armstrong is our athletic director. He's out on the fields right now, supporting some teams out there, so he sends his best. You're also going to hear a lot of stuff about, counselors and other supports. And so just to highlight them, I saw Tara Roddy on here. She's still over there, but it's okay. She's doing her thing. There she is. Hi, Tara. Tara's one of our counselor support students with the last name E through K. And then as you look on the screen here with our other counselors, Claire Smith, Tara Roddy, Bree Hagerman, and Aaron Klein, those letters underneath indicate the last name alpha of the students they support. So, Anthony can find the S's on there, know who his counselor is, and James can find his counselor accordingly, no problem, right? And then as we talk about resources, you'll hear about success coaches, and that's Heidi Pullen, and we actually have another success coach named Ari that some of you may get a chance to work with. And Christy Cameron is our college and career coordinator. And so again, like we told you, we're just gonna a brief overview of what a hybrid schedule is. Hybrid is like the combination of in-person and virtual learning. And so in our format here in Bethel, we're gonna be starting our hybrid experience with students receiving 5 days of instruction. 2 of those days will be in-person instruction, and the other 3 days will be virtual instruction. So those other 3 days will be very much akin to what we have been experiencing in our comprehensive distance learning. And the reason that we're in a position to do this is because to help support the health and safety protocols that Dane will share here in a minute. We have to have really small class sizes for distancing and spacing and cohort tracking and all those fine, important health and safety details. And so we'll start in a hybrid schedule so we have fewer students on campus at a given time, all right? And so that looks like this. And at first glance, for me, this looks like a lot. And so if you're feeling like that looks a lot, I'm with you. That's okay, right? So what this is really saying is that first period will be from 8:15 to 9:45, just like first period is right now. But on 2 days a week, you'll come into the building for periods 1 and 2. And for the other 3 days of the week, you'll stay all virtual. And always period 4 will be virtual, okay? So when you look up here on this, on our schedule, you'll see period 1, cohort A is in person and cohort B is doing virtual learning. And so that cohort A will be in person for periods 1 and 2 on Monday and Tuesday. And then cohort B will be in person for periods 1 and 2 on Thursday and Friday. Okay, so starting the 5th, if you're in cohort A, you'll come onto campus for periods 1 and periods 2. Then you'll go home for your distance learning study hall, and then your period 4 will be online. I forgot to say, sorry. We'll send out these slides so that you can have them as well. So if you're trying to recreate this chart at home, we'll send it to you. That's okay also, right? And if I'm a student in the B cohort, then on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I will start my week with virtual learning, and then I'll come onto campus for periods 1 and periods 2 on both Thursday and Friday. So a common next question is like, how do I know if I'm in group 1 or group A, the A group that comes on Monday and And how do I know if I'm in the B group that comes on Thursday and Friday? And And so this slide shows you here how we're trying to communicate that to families. And so when you look at this little screenshot, this is a screenshot of a Willamette High School student's home access center. And from the home access center, you can look at your schedule. And if on your schedule it says sports medicine AA, that means you're in the A cohort. And the A cohort comes on Monday and Tuesday. So we can see here that AA and AA means that those will be on campus Monday, Tuesday, and virtual for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then this CDL, comprehensive distance learning, all fourth periods are always comprehensive distance learning, okay? So if you were to log into your home access center and you were to see a similar schedule, but it said BB at the end, then you would have your first 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, of learning virtually, and your Thursday, Friday learning time would be in person. And so as you're thinking about coming to school on your Monday, Tuesday, if you're in the A group, or on your Thursday, Friday, if you're in the B group, then there's just some pointers and tips we're hoping to give you to best prepare you for your return to in-person learning. And I'm going to pass the mic to Mr. Dane Nelson to share with us a little more about that.
Thank you, Dan. For a quick sound check, Anthony, I can see you there on my screen. Can I get a thumbs up if my audio is working fine? There we go. Awesome. I got the digital thumbs up back. Appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to go over quickly some of the things to keep in mind as you're prepping for school, kind of long-term, and the mornings of those periods that you may be on campus for hybrid learning. So one thing that we'll get into a little bit more detail in a minute is that self-screening, right? The way to just check with yourself, make sure before you come in. Masks, obviously everybody's going to want to have some comfortable masks for the day. We will be giving a few out when students are coming on campus, but we assume a lot of people have a good stock of masks and will probably be comfortable in those. I do encourage you to bring a backpack, especially because lockers are not going to be in use this year. And so you're going to want to be able to carry around anything that needs to come to school with you. And that includes your charged Chromebook or other personal device that you've been doing CDL on. We're encouraging all students to bring their devices to the classroom, and that way you can work in the classroom without having to share equipment. And we will have a couple spares available, but we are hoping that the majority of people will be able to bring those on a regular basis. Water bottles, good idea. Help keep you comfortable. We will have some filling stations around the campus, but no drinking fountains. So we don't want people to try to stick their heads under the filling station. We're going to use the water bottles and have a safe, hygienic way of doing that. And of course, bring your basic school supplies, right? And if you are in need of anything, we do have supplies at the front desk. But bring your pencils, your pens, calculator if you want it, right? Any of the regular stuff you'd be bringing into the classroom as your supplies, go ahead and bring those. There are also not going to be locker rooms in use this year. And so if you do have a PE class on your schedule, strongly encourage that you dress in something you're comfortable doing PE in, or layers where it's underneath. All right, we'll go ahead and look at the next slide here. So that's self-screening. You've probably been asked these questions other places you've gone during the last year, but these are crucial to make sure that each day, if you want to think about how you're feeling, and when there is a question, please stay home, right? And we know that in the past, we do really stress attendance matters. It makes a difference in education, but also in this environment, we want you to play it safe, right? Teachers are going to be able to reach out and support your continued learning, even if you can't come on campus that day. Never has it been easier to share assignments and materials, to communicate back and forth, drop into that teacher's digital office hours and find out what you missed that day, even if you have to stay home. So err on the side of safety, right? And then just a last reminder there, the screening applies to your household. So when we're looking at these next questions, just keep in mind that if someone in your house would answer yes to these questions, then you should probably be erring on the side of safety and not coming to school, okay? So this graphic is meant to just be a quick reference of, can you come to school today? And it may I don't know, it may seem easy coming in, but I will say I've had to go through a number of times and just simply look at the questions and say, well, where do we go with this one? Because you'll see there, number one, when we're looking at primary symptoms, uh, you want to have that list handy of, fever, shortness of breath, new or persistent cough, the loss of taste or smell. Those are the symptoms that would be an immediate stay home, right? Um, However, some of those secondary symptoms, you may be experiencing that, and some of those might be things you wouldn't want to come to school with anyways, but they wouldn't immediately rule you out. So that's a case of go ahead and contact us, check in, and we can help to reach some guidance. Generally speaking, they tell you if you got 2 of those secondary symptoms, or if any of them are severe, then you'd be recommended to stay home. And of course, if you've been exposed to someone else who tests positive, that's when you would be going into some quarantine. Okay. And we'll make that available both in Spanish and in English, so families kind of have that ready and available, because it is something you want to be able to pull up in the morning when the house is crazy and you're not sure what decision to make. That's an easy decision-making tool. Now, the transport and entry. We do have some designated entries, and we're trying to get all traffic to specific places in order to help with the smooth entry, with the greeting and screening process, and being able to direct people to where they need to go. So buses, which are working out routes as we speak, they'll be doing their visual screening as students get on the buses. They will then be dropped at the north parking lot by the Powers Auditorium entrance. Students on foot, right, or bikes or skateboards, we're going to encourage them to come either the flagpole entry off Echo Hollow in the north lot, or the Science Mackenzie Wing entry in the south lot. And those will be their main entrances. However, if they're coming from different directions, they may find that one of the other two is okay. Student drivers, right, we have the south lot. Parking permits are available to sign up and get those for free. But those student drivers should be coming in through A Bay in between math and the small gym. Now, parent or guardian drop-off, or older brother, sister drop-off, whoever is doing the driving and dropping off, we do need all of those drop-offs to happen in the south lot on that sidewalk space next to the math hall, right next to Mackenzie Wing. So you'll see here, right, here's our map of the school. We've got Echo Hollow there on the left, Dove Lane to the top. There, then the happy face is the entries you want to come in. So if you use that furthest south driveway and come in and go along the sidewalk there, you got an easy path in, drop off, and exit. And with roughly 400 students a day in our hybrid setting, it shouldn't get too backed up, right? But we really want to avoid that, the north lot and where the buses will be coming through. So please, no parent entry through that lot. Okay. And that drop off can be as early as 7:45, but first period will not start until 8:15. And when students arrive anywhere between 7:45 and 8:15, they will be heading straight to their classrooms. Okay. So quickly here, just run through a couple common questions about the hybrid school day. There will be grab and go breakfasts available to all, and you will simply walk by and grab one from the stations around the school. All the entries we just talked about will have grab and go carts set up where students can just say hi to whoever's in attendance, grab a bag, and head to first period. You can eat in the classrooms. In fact, that is where everyone should be eating, where you'll be able to sit down, safely unmask, eat your breakfast, and then remask, throw your garbage away, sanitize your hands, and be on your way. The grab and go lunch at the end of the day will be available in the same spots. So there'll be carts as students are departing from school, and they can grab a lunch. Again, those will be available to everyone. So classroom, just want to point out, really we're looking for these engaging, supportive workspaces. You're going to have small class sizes. There will be safe distancing and students will be masked up. But I think you're going to find that they're going to be groups of students who will be excited to be back in person, do some collaborative, fun, engaging activities. The transitions between classes, which really the main ones are coming in the morning, going between first and second, and then on your way out. That transition between first and second, we're going to stagger to minimize traffic in the hallways. Students should be sanitizing their hands when they enter classrooms, and on their way out, they're going to be quickly wiping down their own desk and their seat before they head out to make it safe for the next groups coming in. And they're going to see that in a lot of the hallways, there's directional indicators so that when it's high traffic, they want to follow the flow in order to get to their next classes. And it may take you 1 or 2 tries to figure out the best paths to class, but you'll quickly figure those out. Okay. And then just a reminder again, we want students to bring their devices at all times if possible. Okay. And is this our transition to Miss Alyssa Dodds?
Yes, it is me. Dane, do you mind dropping the screening questions in the chat for us?
Not at all.
Wonderful, thanks. All right, so I'm just going to take you through a couple other elements. Some have been referenced already, but just go in depth a little bit more before we open for questions. Something again about kind of that classroom setup and how it will look. We really will be modeling with our staff how to model and teach and reinforce those the hygiene pieces and the face coverings, and we've got tutorial videos and funny and accurate ways to show all of those pieces. And that's really huge shout out to our PBIS team. It's our Positive Behavior Intervention Supports group. And yeah, it's a group on campus of classified and certified and administrative staff that has put together some tools for that. And so if you see your students ever wearing shirts that say Worth Honor Success on them, or that's kind of our WHS framework for some of that stuff. And so, yeah, just so you know, also another piece of that hygiene piece and the health and safety protocols is every single classroom has a huge hand sanitizer bottle available, and just right when they walk in from the start, your students are going to feel safe and supportive and welcome, because it's been a long time since we've seen them, and we're so excited. Our teachers are so excited. Today when we were getting ready, we could feel the energy building for them to come next week. And part of that is making sure they feel safe and supported outside of the classroom as well. We've always had these supports, and we've tried to enhance and change them based on y'all's needs and what feedback you've given to us as well as your students. Some of that is our food pantry and meals program. You can always call our front office and they'll support you there. We will continue, of course, to feed them for breakfast and lunch in those grab and go fashions. But if you need more than that, please don't be afraid to ask. We've got so many resources, supports, community partners that want to support our Willamette students and families. We've got everything from so many school supplies that we want to give out, because there may be some paper and pencil happening again, all the way to clothing closet and toiletries, anything you can imagine. We really do want y'all not to have to worry about any of those pieces. And so we have those. You can go through the school counselor, you can go for our front office, or contact any of us administrators here tonight. One exciting thing is our groups and clubs, some of them have been meeting virtually, and they can continue to do so, of course, but some of them are excited, and we will get the opportunity to meet in person, be it at a lunchtime or third period or after school again, and just to kind of have those social connections again. I think honestly, maybe one of the main reasons the kids are coming back, and we just want students on the call to know, and families tonight, that we have those opportunities. Our Latinos Unidos group, our BSU, our Chess Club, our Sources of Strength, all of those things are operating both in person and virtually, so they feel safe to do whatever makes sense for them, even if they are in CDL. Like Dan was saying, Tara, one of our counselors, is on the call, but we've got 4 amazing counselors and other counseling supports that Willamette always have, and will continue to. They've been doing great virtual connections with our families and students, as you may have experienced, but they'll be there in the building ready to support our students. We have a great school-based health center just a few feet away, and they do physicals, checkups. This year, they're supporting families, not just the students. That's a huge added bonus we would love folks to take advantage of. So you can continue to do telehealth and not come in that space, but there's also opportunities to be in that space as well. Drug and alcohol supports, counseling supports, mental health supports. We know that this is a key component to reopening schools. We've really invested in that, including childcare. Our childcare center has been open and will continue to be open. They do have limited space, and you can call and see what they have available if that's something that you're still needing. A quick shout out. We've got a team putting together some 9th grade tours. You may have gotten a postcard in the mail. You may have gotten an email about that or seen our blog post. This is for 9th grade students, but also if you're someone on this listening into this that has a new student. So you're an 11th grade student, but you did not attend Willamette the last 2 years. Totally great. Join in on this. It's April 1st and 2nd, and I think Dane or someone will drop that in the chat as well. It's just a quick Google form. You can pick which day. And that's this week, this Thursday, Friday. We have a 9:30 and a 12:30 option. It's about a 45-minute tour, and we'll safely do that in small groups, masked and following all the protocols, but really just wanting to get a sense of the building and a tour. And we have students leading those. It's really wonderful. So we're excited about that. And they get a free t-shirt. So huge bonus. Yeah, this is just, we try to do this in every forum where we connect with our family and community in terms of how can we better do that. And so we've got our blog, we've got a great community newsletter. We will get you a copy of this presentation, all those things. But again, there will be another link if you want to just give us feedback about how we could continue to do that. And we want to make sure we reach you and really hear your feedback and be able to connect with you, especially now and in person and virtually and all of these different modes that we're using right now. With that, we're going to kick it to the question and answer portion of the evening. And so I will bring it back where any of us can answer them. And Danes, I think, Mr. Nelson, did you compile some questions for us here?
Yeah, I've gotten a few. And if people think of anything else that they want to put in there, please go ahead. One of the first questions specifically asks about if you filled out a request, but the student didn't end up in the setting that they initially requested, particularly if CDL rather than hybrid or hybrid rather than CDL. All right, what's the best way to change that? And I think there's a general larger question about schedule changes connected to that.
Hey, I'll field that one. Good news is that any student who has a question about their schedules, obviously our counselors are great resources for them. And what we just blogged out yesterday is there is a schedule change request form. So if you have a question about a class and you would like to change that and or the learning location, that is a possibility. Just full disclosure, we had a number of folks request the AA Monday, Tuesday as their primary concern. And it was about 60% of the folks who requested that one. It was just exceeded our ability to safely house all the students in that space for those specific times. So there was some moving around to help balance our BBs. But if there's a reason, thank you so much for dropping that off, or a rationale to need a schedule change, please fill out the schedule change form and we will do our best to accommodate.
Another question asked, and I think I might field this one, is about devices. What do you do if you've been working from home on a desktop? You know, it'd be entertaining to see all the students try to pack in their monitors and towers and set up maybe some gaming LAN parties in the classroom, but I've been told we shouldn't do that. So I would say the best thing to do is to quickly, like this week, I would contact the help desk to see about, is it still possible to check out a Chromebook? But we are also going to have a few available in every classroom for students that don't bring theirs with them. So obviously the preference would be to get you set up with one that's actually checked out to you. Alternatively, I know some students have had to work on other devices, you know, iPads, sometimes even phones, and we prefer that you're not having to do any classwork in the room on a phone. So we'd love to find you a better device. But I think those are things that we'll kind of iron out the best ways to handle them through the first week when we have a variety of devices. And thank you. I see the question in there. I will drop the help desk contact information in the chat in a minute. But you can always either directly email or call the help desk, or you can contact the front office and they can transfer you through. I was trying to go back here and find another question that I know I missed. Um, I did want to put out one thing there is that on attendance, if you do need to contact the attendance office, if there's a tardy, a late arrival, or an absence that needs to be excused, please handle all of those via phone or email, as the attendance office is not necessarily going to be bringing people into the windows to handle attendance information. And students, the few that are here, get this information. If you are a few minutes tardy, don't worry about coming by the office to get a slip. There will be staff in the hallways you can just kind of check in with and get to class. Okay, we don't want you to have to spend time or go up to the front office when you don't need to. Okay, another popular question, whoever wants to field this, is about bus routes and when we can expect to see bus information.
Soon, we hope. It's been an interesting journey trying to communicate with our transportation partners, the A cohorts for Monday, Tuesday, and the B cohorts for Thursday, Friday, and which students are in which, then they can create those cohorts. And we had the opportunity to spend a fair amount of time and effort over spring break making all those adjustments. And so we were just able to share that information with the transportation team today. So over the course of the next couple of days, they're going to be working on looking at all the students that need transportation in A and all of them that need the transportation for B, and then making their routes accordingly, and then connecting with families to let them know what that looks like, right? And so we're hopeful by Thursday, Friday this week, we can do a blog post out that says, here is the transportation, general plan. And then you could be like, oh, I live here and that's where the pickup is. So I can go get, on that bus right there. And they'll also reach out to families individually so they can verify with you, right? So one of the things they like to verify is like, if there's going to be 2 people in your household riding the bus, then those 2 people can have a seating arrangement that's more COVID safe because you're in the same household, as opposed to if not. So they have some more strategy that goes into it. So they'll be reaching out to families. But it is a amazing puzzle that is a work in progress.
Okay. Only other question I got in there, which I'm happy to call back to, is best drop-off spot for students riding with parents. South lot, right by the Science and Mackenzie Hall entryway. So use the driveway nearest to Echo Hollow and you can loop along the building there. I also am going to put in here the sign up for parking passes. Had a couple of students looking for that. And other than that, we don't have any other questions in the chat here.
Let's maybe pause for a second so people can look over their notes and rack their brains to see what other things might be coming up for you. Yadira, any questions from your perspective? Dane, as you've got the chat there, would you be willing to drop my email address in the chat? And if people that are on the call today or anything like me, as soon as we hang up, we're going to be like, I was going to ask and I forgot. And so, Dane will drop my email address in the chat just so it's close and easy. You can also access it directly from the Willamette website. And please shoot me an email, ask those questions, the individual ones. You've got a team of any of us administrators on here, and your counseling team and your teachers you've been working with over the last few weeks. All been working together to help this transition back into some in-person learning happen. And so there's lots of adults that have different wells of knowledge for you to draw upon. And so Dane, if nothing else came in the chat, then I will thank everyone for coming. And I know that there's family and work and school and life. And so if you take a little bit of time to spend with us today, we really do appreciate it. And please let us know as questions come up along the way. And we really are here to help. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Yep. And we'll post a recording of this later this week, probably by Wednesday. Thank you.